Some of you might like to know a little bit more about our drummer.
Now going back to 40 years of Chick Webb.
Is drummer right? Is it okay to say drummer?
Pounding his pulsing beat into the hearts of all America.
You motherfuckers are fucking all over this joint.
You do your kind of drumming, and I'll do my kind of drumming.
I have no more time. You don't know what I love to do.
The only things I care about in this goddamn life are me and my drums and you.
The official explanation was he choked on vomit.
You suppose maybe I could put the drums in your place and sort of drop in once in a while?
Now back to Gene Krupa's syncopated style shortly.
Get up there behind those drums, lean back, close your eyes, get right in the groove there, give it a good steady beat.
I got blisters on my fingers!
I'd hit that.
I'm in New York City with Aaron Sterling. Aaron, thanks for doing this, man.
Thank you very much for having me. Appreciate it.
Now, Aaron, you are, if you want to talk about your current gig.
Okay. I love it. It wasn't really a question, but it was sort of a question. I am currently playing with John Mayer. We are on tour, and we are currently in New York City. We've been on tour for about 6 weeks or so. Maybe more. Yeah, 6 or 7 weeks. And it's been going really well. It's been going very, very well.
Now, how does that call come about for you?
Well, I got the call because this is my first tour ever. I am a studio drummer by trade. So I met John because he was making a record. This would be the Born and Raised record that came out a couple years ago or a year ago. A year ago, I think. And he had tried a few people out. I think Keltner came in and did a couple things, and then maybe some other guy. And he was just looking for a specific type of sound. This is what he said to Sean Hurley.
Keltner didn't cut it.
That's not at all the sentiment I am trying to express. Truly, but yeah, I think he wanted maybe something maybe in that vein, but another thing too. I don't know, but he explained that to Sean Hurley, the bass player at the time, who was still the bass player, and Sean recommended me. So I came in for a week, and then that week became for that record, about a year, just off and on of making that record. Yeah.
Right.
And so then when the record comes out, and I still at that point had, a year later, I'd done one show with him. That's it, because he hadn't really done any shows. We were just making a record. So we did this one benefit concert, and then the record comes out, and then we're gonna tour, and then he had this terrible throat thing. So 5 days into rehearsal, I guess this was a year ago now. 5 days into the rehearsal, he had to cancel the entire tour. And at that point, I'd still only done one show with him, and then flash forward another year. I guess that would be now. Yeah, it was still now. I feel like I've only done a handful of shows with the guy, and I've made, I've spent years in the studio, because now we made another record, literally just came out a couple days ago, which I think is great, called Paradise Valley, and yeah, so I made a lot of records with the guy.
Yeah.
But we're just now starting to play shows, and it's a lot of fun too.
Were you hesitant at all when he mentioned a tour?
I mean, only hesitant to the degree that my muscles reacted the same way they react anytime somebody mentions the word tour. It's I'm like, no. But no, I mean, with him, I was there wasn't any doubt in my mind that I would do it. And I genuinely can say that is 100% true. And I've never had that reaction with anybody else. Everybody else is like, ugh, sure do like you. The money won't be good, or I sure do like the idea of this money, but you're not that cool. There's always something, with John, it's just the whole thing is great. He's such a fun guy. You have no idea. The guy's so much fun. The music's awesome. He treats everybody well, blah, blah, blah. It's just, and I knew it would be that way, so yeah, I know. I absolutely was going to do it.
You're in great company with, the other names that have been there before.
Absolutely, yeah, that's absolutely right, too. Yeah, even if you were to think of it from a purely, there's nothing wrong. You think of it from a career perspective and think of it selfishly, what does this mean for me 5 years down the road? He's one of those few guys where you can do a gig like that, and it if nothing, it might even help your session career.
Yeah.
Not to say that I'm gonna, I have no plans of bailing but everybody has a lifespan with everybody. Artists change, and whenever that time comes where maybe he's got some other thing he's doing, yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with saying you were on the road with him for, years, and whereas there's other artists who might be very, very popular, but saying that you're on the road with them doesn't necessarily help you in any way. I mean, it might help you buy a house, but in terms of like, you know what I mean, a career. And I'm not even saying there's anything to be ashamed of. There's tons of artists like, God, that's awesome, you got a gig, but that doesn't necessarily make people think, oh, then you'd be a great guy on this record.
True. It's
just the way it works, and John's one of the few guys that I think people's perception of him, because he's such a musician, they think, well, he wouldn't get some hack on the road. I mean, that's how I've always perceived him.
I mean, I just think of like Pino and Steve Jordan, and he hires top shelf.
Those guys are pretty good.
And it's like, well, gee, or he brings in Keltner, you're saying, and then he's like,
that's absolutely right.
Not quite working out.
Yeah, and Jim came out for an Irvine show. A few days before the Irvine show, we found out he was going to come, and he's just happy to be there, and so we played double drums like half the night. It was amazing.
Okay, what's that like?
It was fun, man. I mean,
you just follow his lead? How does that work?
No, because he has no ego. So he specifically said, "I will only do it. I'm just gonna follow Aaron. It's Aaron. He's that kind of guy. Like, the guy's ridiculously nice. He's such a great person. He's like, it's your gig. You know these songs. I mean, he truly was playing songs he had never heard. Like, as in, not we rehearsed them once and then playing. Like, literally, he's just on stage hearing songs he never heard. So he's like, no, just do your thing and I'll go around you. And he just does the thing that he does. But it was interesting because there are songs that are like inherently swung, and I'm playing him swung, and then he kind of is doing his straight thing over it. But it wasn't to impose this feeling of, hey guys, we should probably straighten this out. I'm Jim Keltner. I think this probably needs to be straight. It was just like, no. You keep doing the swung thing, and I'll do the straight thing. Yeah. It's great the way his mind works. Okay. It was really fun.
Yeah, I mean, he played what was Jim Gordon, right? With
Joe Cocker.
Joe Cocker, and
exactly.
I mean,
it's
what an experience to do double drumming with Keltner.
It's amazing.
Ringo, Levon, all those.
Basically only awesome drummers.
Only awesome.
And so then I get to do it, and I'm not going to be the guy who's like self-effacing. Like, and then he goes to this. I hate when people do that. But I also won't be the guy that says, and I'm better than all of them. No, I was very happy and proud to have been there, and we did that once before on the Ellen show. Yeah, the first time I ever met Jim was on the Ellen show, which was hilarious.
With Mayer?
Yeah.
Oh, and you
Same
did double
thing.
drumming?
John was just like, it'd be fun. Just get Jim to play, and that's the cool thing about John. I think Steve Jordan's gonna come and play at a show soon with us. He gets this guy Bob Reynolds, this great sax player, just show up. Don showed up and played double bass, as in two basses, not stand-up bass. John's just one of those guys. He's like, I don't know. He wants to switch it up, man.
Yeah,
he's great.
Yeah.
So we'll probably have other people. I mentioned a couple names of fiddle players and different people to just show up, and he's very into that idea. So
nice.
Yeah, it keeps it really fun. I mean, it's kind of the best gig somebody like me who's into the type of music I'm in could possibly have.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
Did you get a sense when you met him? I guess this was at a studio or?
Yeah. It was at Electric Lady. Yeah,
okay.
It was the first time I met him.
Oh, here in New York.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's where we did it.
Was there a sense of he was feeling you out, like the hang and all that? Did you get that sense?
Extremely.
Yeah.
And he's very transparent about it. Like he he's sort of a meta type of person. So he's very aware of the fact that he's feeling me. He's very aware of the fact that, hey, this could be the guy for me, or this could totally not be the guy for me, and this will be so awkward. And he's very aware of all those things. So we hung out, every single night that first week, and then we got to know each other, and we had this little friendship that came about, and then I just kept being that. He's very into the idea of hanging with the band. Yeah.
Sure. No, I'm getting that. Yeah. Like that
undoubtedly.
I mean, obviously, talent, chops, that's up there, but
right.
that part of it, so key for everything, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I can't imagine. I mean, if you're in like a black metal band, like Swedish black death metal, you know what I mean? Like, well, those guys kind of have to hang out, right?
Yeah, totally.
I watched the documentary on that. Like, black metal, not as in like African American metal. Like, you know the deal. Okay, yeah, you
burning
got
churches,
tattoos.
those guys.
Yes. I watched the documentary on that stuff. I was like blown away.
Is that the one where the guy drinks the wine and he's like, Satan?
Yes, yes. It's so heavy, and who knows what they're doing together, but they're doing it together. By God, they're sacrificing virgins together as a...
They're hanging. It's a good hang,
to them, they're like, you know, guys, I really love you. This is really cool. You know, they probably just like killed a dog, but
he's got good technique of killing that dog.
Yeah,
It's like he doesn't
and he
leave a lot of
appreciates
blood,
his
and,
friend who also has the technique. No, it's everything, man. It's definitely everything for sure.
So, and did he know as well your feelings about touring? Was this something that you discussed?
He started picking up on when he realized I had never toured before, and he was like, I think he was like, oh, but you play with a lot of people. I don't get it. You know, I think he eventually understood that it's just not something that I ever wanted to do. I never pursued it. I avoided it, and I told him, I was like, that's the deal. But I also wasn't afraid to tell him because I also knew that if he wanted me to tour, I'd do it. So
yeah,
you know, I didn't ever think there'd be some weird conversation where I'd be like, oh, I don't think I can do it, man.
But did he have to offer? Did he have any special sort of? And Aaron, this is the price.
Right,
this is
right.
the numbers I'm showing. It wasn't like
he's
that.
just a respectful guy.
He
Just
didn't
like
dangle
you know,
any.
well, I mean, you know, he made jokes about it, but it's like, man, just I'd love to have you.
Yeah,
you know, if
that's
you,
cool.
If you want to do it. You know.
Do you have a family life? Is that?
I do. I have.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even born out of that from the onset of not wanting to tour, but now especially that's a huge part of it. I have a wife whom I love, who I've been with for almost 15 years, since we were 18.
Damn.
Yeah, I just turned 33. So yeah, I mean, we've been together a long time, and it's an unbelievable thing to have somebody like that who you've known not only that long, but from that age. It's cool. And I have 2 children, one who's almost 7 and one who's 3. Mm-hmm. So yeah, obviously the last 10 years of sort of marriage and kids, that's the primary thing that makes it difficult. But before that, I mean, I went out with a guy for like 3 or 4 weeks when I was like, I guess I was 20 or 21. I did like a mini tour. I kind of feel like I can't call it a tour. It was a tour, but like it was not something that lasted very long at all.
Right.
And I knew right then, I was like, this isn't for me. Just because I already knew I wanted to record. I've been recording like since I was 15 years old, and that's all I've done. And I don't do many live gigs. I don't play in front of people usually much. And after that, I'm like, no thanks.
So if you get someone offers like, hey, could you come down? We're doing this little club thing.
Yeah, I don't do that.
You're like, no, thank you. Just say no, flat out.
Usually, yeah. Yeah, and it's like I'm just like, I don't know, what am I gonna do? Because usually I will have been working all day in a studio, so like I don't want to go out, and I haven't seen my family, and I'm like, what am I? We could tell my wife that like, yeah, you know, I left the house today like 10, and now it's 10, but yeah, see you tomorrow. I can't do that, and I mean, I gotta be really careful how I say this. With John, and this is, I mean, you give me a lie detector test, I'd pass easily. Like with John, the live experience is incredible because it's almost kind of like a jazz gig, and inherently it is this. It's very improv. Like you have no idea. Like it's just ebbing and flowing. You'll be playing a song and see the next song on the set list and think, how are we gonna get into this? Because we don't stop and then just play the song. He just wants to figure out how to like change the key and change the tempo into it. And so there's all these reasons why playing with him is amazing, and you're doing it in front of 15,000 people. But I mean, for the most part, like I don't really get off playing live. I mean, that's just the reality. I mean, with somebody like John, and there are other people I've played with, where it's like, wow, it's really cool because you're doing something great on stage, and you see that there's an energy coming back at you, you know. But I mean, usually I do live gigs. I'm like, I don't know what we're doing here. What is this about? I don't know. You got these people out here, and they're smiling, and I feel like I gotta do. What do I gotta? Am I entertaining?
You're thinking I wouldn't have bought this ticket.
Right. Although that's not true because I like to see shows.
Do you go out to shows?
Not a lot, only because of just the nature of like having a family.
Sick of.
But last night, John and Sean and I went to go see Roy Hargrove at the Blue Note. It was incredible.
That's something special.
I mean, we're almost like crying at the end. It's incredible. So I do like seeing shows.
Special shows like that.
Yeah,
definitely.
When I'm on stage, I think, what am I supposed to do? I literally think like what do I do with my body? Like I forget, like I feel like I can't play drums the way I normally do. Like I have to
Are you
smile.
thinking? You're thinking.
Oh, I can't stop thinking. I'm getting better with John now.
They're looking at me.
They're looking at me, and they expect things of me from a visual perspective,
right.
And I'm not used to that.
No twirling. You're not.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I just 98% of my drumming has been done in front of 5 people, and you know that the purpose is recording, so you know that nobody cares what you might be looking like. All they're doing is listening.
Sure.
And it's just weird to do that. I mean, I think, you know what it is? There's nothing wrong with playing live. I just don't think I did enough of it in my formative years. I did some, not saying I never did, I certainly did, but just not enough. And so now it's got to this point where it feels awkward. But again, and I'm not just saying that to be that guy, but like with John, it is a different thing because it's just this strange situation where, you know, it's this guy that has like pop songs that people love. So you got all these people showing up, yet you get to get away with shit that's just incredible. Like some of the stuff that we do, and you're thinking, wow, you guys are still with us? Really? After that weird jam we did? It's amazing. So, you know, with the exception of him and a few other people I've played with, it just, I don't know. I never really know what to do. I feel weird, but I don't know. I'll probably regret saying all that, but that's fine. That's totally cool.
Now, are you approaching it differently? I mean, you have a studio touch. I mean, that's what makes you the in-demand guy. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know how to
we
say
all
it.
know that,
Right,
though, right?
right.
We can just call it what it is. Like
Sure.
it's a touch, it's a feel of the studio.
Yeah, it's a mindset, I suppose.
Do you play the same when you're playing live, or are you hitting harder? I mean,
I try to play the same. I try to take
let the mics do the work.
Yeah, I try to. But then again, like, geez, I mean, depending on where you're playing or who the sound guy is, maybe that's part of the reason too. Like, I rely so heavily on the sound, on an engineer.
But don't you have one guy going with you everywhere?
With John, yes.
Yeah,
I didn't know
that's
if
what
you
I'm
meant universal.
Oh, no, I meant right now.
Oh,
like
well,
what you're doing.
okay, let me describe this situation as the greatest situation even more. John's front of house engineer is a guy named Chad Franskowiak, and he's been the front of house engineer for John, I think literally, let's see, like 12, 13 years, right? He's also the guy that records all the records. He's literally a Grammy Award winning engineer. He's this amazing studio guy. Literally, if he was like an engineer in LA, he'd just be my favorite engineer. Somebody be like, I don't know, we got to track drums. Oh, let's just call my guy Chad. And he's also the front of house guy. So people will constantly say, I don't understand, like, I hate that venue. Why did you guys sound so good? Like, it never sounds good there. He's one of those freaks. Like, he makes everything sound so good. And we actually talk on stage during shows a lot of times. If we feel like we're playing too much or we're going too aggressive, John will get on these talkback mics that we have on stage, and he'll just sort of remind everybody, like, Chad is here. Like, we don't have to do anything. Like, we don't have to play. We can do whatever we want because Chad will make it sound amazing. And I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of gigs where you're playing thinking, like, this guy, the sound guy probably sucks. So how do I compensate for this?
Right.
I don't have to do anything, man. I can play super quietly, and I know for a fact everybody's hearing everything. It's crazy, man.
He adjusts to you.
Oh yeah, and he adjusts to everybody.
Now,
and
did you
somehow makes it
have
work.
any discussions about kick drum sizes, heads, and things like that? Did you go
a little
over that
bit.
stuff?
But the good thing is, after having made 2 records, you know, and he's seen all the drums I have, and he knows the sound that I want to go for on those records, and he knows that that's ultimately kind of the thing I'd like to get across in the live show. Although we do have to, you know, emote more, and it's got to be a little bit bigger. But yeah, thankfully he knew me well, and I knew him well. But yeah, I explained to him that I did want to use smaller sizes, and is that okay? Like, does that work? I don't even know. Like,
2012, 14? What do you...
2012, 14.
That's what you're using?
That's what I use, yeah. Yeah, it's awesome. But then again, I was like, I know that records well. How does this work live? Is this a nightmare for you? And so, you know, and Chad's
what did he say?
He's a loose guy. He's like, I don't know. It'll be fine. You know, but all good engineers always say that.
He just wasn't phased.
Yeah. The drum tech at the time, he's now the stage manager, but he was a little weary. He was like, I don't know, it might not project enough. And then I did a gig with it, and he was like, all right, never mind, it's cool. Yeah. But you know, he was kind of concerned about it, but I love it. I mean, and I'm playing it. If you're interested, I was going to use a WFL kit, 22, 13, 16, and then when we were rehearsing, and then when we did this Ellen show I was telling you about with Jim Keltner, the drum tech was like, man, I would love to leave your drums here at the rehearsal spot because we got to come back later today and rehearse more. Let's just send another kit. So then I called my actual drum tech in LA. This is a guy who works for John, then I have a guy who works for me in LA. And I said, hey, just send anything that you think is cool for the Ellen show because Jim will be there. It'll already be like this crazy thing. I just said, send anything you want. I don't care. And so he sends this 2012-14, it's called US Mercury. You ever heard of that? It's a 60s Japanese kit, and Pearl made them.
Okay.
So like whoever was making the shells for Pearl at the time, the 60s Pearl, was making them for them. It would be like a Sears type of kit, you know. And it cost him $75. I believe he bought it from Matt Chamberlain, or Matt got it for $75 and gave it to John, or something like that. It is a piece of shit drum set. It's really cool looking.
It's got the probably nice wrap, right? Like
it's actually
is it
really
like the
cool.
tiger kind of thing? Is it
No, I wish it was, but it's like I don't know what you call it, abalone or
black abalone, one of those.
Maybe I think
Okay,
I'm
anyway,
never
yeah,
good
yeah,
at that,
yeah, sure,
but it's
sure.
beautiful. So I play it on the show, and I'm like, well, that's what I want to play. This is what I want to play for the tour. So then I was like, we got to take this and just take the WFL back, and like this is the kit. So I've been playing that.
You're playing a $75.
Yeah, and he won't even sell it to me. I'm like, well, what do I owe you money? And he's like, just keep it for now. We'll figure it out later.
That's the kit out on tour right now.
That's the kit.
There's no backup kit.
No, none. There's a lot of snares. We have like 10 snares out with us, but
I love it.
It's amazing.
But they sound amazing.
It's so reliable too. It sounds the same every night. It's amazing. It's amazing. It really does sound good. Not in an ironic like, I'm using a $75 kit. Right. I don't care if it was $7,500. I'd be just as proud. I'm just being honest. It sounds great. It's kind of like a Slingerland, but it's got its own little thing to it. It's really, really cool.
Do you tape that up? Do you?
You know what? I'm such a tape freak in the studio a lot, but I've kind of figured out you don't do the tape thing's weird in the amphitheaters and stuff. I don't know. For snares it's cool, but
are they wide open? The toms?
They are wide open. Now
Okay.
some of it is because they're already inherently dead, but that is something I've had to learn. It's not really the same thing. You can't the whole like thud of a record. It's not thud. It's because you're in an amphitheater. It doesn't the dead thing doesn't come across as much when you hit your kick drum. It's this enormous sub. I mean, people feel it in their chest. So you have to take that into account, and you can't try to get away with your super like tight. It just won't work. So why bother? So I actually have them wide open. I have them tuned up really high. I've owned up to the idea that like I can't get that sound across, so I'll get a different sound across.
Because you go deeper in the studio. You tune deeper.
Well, I mean, if everything's
thud, as you were saying.
Yeah, everything's different. But with John, these past 2 records has been mostly that type of sound.
And so you're saying it's that whole thing about you tune higher because by the time it reaches the back, it's.
I guess, or some of it's just more like, well, if I can't get that sound, let's get a completely different sound that'd almost be the wrong sound. And so I actually tune the rack tom really high. It's kind of like. This is like all like Art Blakey style.
Jazz.
Like, yeah. Just because like I don't know, why not? Because John's whole gig is just like about feeling inspired. So it's the opposite of what I would do on a record. But since the record sound doesn't work for those type of venues, I'm like, let's do that instead. You know? Or sometimes I'll tune it low I just do the different things every night, I guess. But yeah. It's fun.
I love it. How long have you been out with him already, you're saying? 6 weeks, you said?
About 6 weeks, maybe
and how
7.
Much more?
Like that's as yet to be determined.
Are they just adding dates as we go along?
I mean, technically, end of October, but there are many talks about many things for potentially another year. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
How does this sit with the Sterling family?
It's just a constant conversation that we're having. But it's there's so many upsides to it, But yeah, it's just something we're always having to talk about.
Do you have days where you wake up and you're going, I don't think I could do the year, and then you have moments where you go,
absolutely.
Maybe I could. It's just sort of that back and forth game.
And I would imagine the reality is everybody in this band, even John, thinks that. I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure there's days where he wakes up and he's like, oh, I got to do this again,
Yeah.
And then the show maybe goes really well, and you think, oh, I can't wait to do this again.
Yeah.
That's just life,
Yeah.
I'm just grateful to have, a great gig,
So when do you get back home?
Well, my next break will be in like 2 weeks, I think.
Okay.
And then we'll be home for like 5 or 6 days, Yeah, and then we go out. But, I mean, there are decent breaks. Lately it hasn't been amazing, but there will be bigger breaks later. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back. You were saying it's like you knew all along you wanted to be the studio guy.
Yeah,
you just knew it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Who was like? Was it Porcaro? Like, who was your guy? Who are guys that you looked at and thought?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I love Jeff Porcaro. I mean, some of the studio thing comes from the fact that my dad is at the time was really producing a lot of records, and so he's a record producer and a writer, and then my mom, early on in my life was a session singer. So like that's sort of what I knew. Like I just thought like you make music, but you do it in this room. You don't do it in front of people. My God, you don't play in front of people. That'd be, yeah. So yeah, that concept just made sense to me, and so that's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to play in the studio, and so then I would go to his sessions and watch and learn some stuff, and And I just got excited about the idea. I never was in a band. I mean, I had friends that I played with, but I've never been in a band to this day. It just was not something. I was like, why would I want to like hang out with the same people? This is terrible, you know. I want to be friends with these guys, but I don't want to get all making music and making decisions and bumper stickers and coming up with band names, you know. So I never did that. So yeah, that was just all it was for me. I mean, in terms of influences and stuff, I mean, I guess there were the studio cats, Vinny and Jeff Porcaro, those, because I'm 33, so when I was 12, 13, 14, those were sort of the guys that, you know, that were the guys, and I definitely listened to all those guys. But I know the influences thing is always an interesting question. When you, I'm sure you ask that question a lot.
No, I don't.
You don't?
I don't. I never really get into influences.
Yeah.
Because it's boring to me.
It is kind of.
To be quite honest, I'm just going to say.
Well, because the influence thing, I always find it interesting because people, I think, don't think of what that word means. Like, it's not your favorite drummers.
No.
Like, I would literally say one of my biggest influences is the guy from Primus.
Okay.
I don't even think I want him to be.
I don't even know which guy you mean. I love
Tim
it.
Alexander.
There you go, because there's a few guys. I mean.
Yeah, because I just listen to it
The
incessantly.
Guy.
You know, I'm like, I don't know. I when I listen to it now, I'm not necessarily loving it, but I know it influenced me because like 12 to 14, I listened to that guy so much. So, you know, I don't know.
But influenced also by, like I was saying, you were 15, 16,
That's what
17,
I'm saying.
And it's like, no, I want to be a studio cat.
Right.
Who says that?
Right.
That's what I'm getting at.
Right.
Not a lot of guys.
Well, again, maybe it's because of my surroundings. I just
obviously, yeah.
You know, that's what I knew, and it excited me.
That's what I meant by like who were you looking at going, well, he did it, I could do it.
Yeah, I guess in terms of the session guys that made that their thing, it's a lot of the obvious people. It would be Jeff Porcaro, Vinny, Steve Gadd, you know, all those. In terms of session dudes, I guess it was those guys. But I would also argue that you know what it is? It's not so much that I was trying to emulate somebody's career. It's like even if I was listening to like Bob Moses records, or like I used to wear out Pat Metheny Travels, and the irony is that like this guy named Danny Gottlieb that played on that record. I love that record. And the irony is that that's a live record, but that probably still inspired me just as much to be a session drummer, because everything that I heard was filtered through the idea that I should do what they're doing, but in a studio. Like, I never, like, listened to Pat Metheny Travels and got excited about the crowd noise. I was like, ugh, they're done with that song. I gotta listen to these crowd noise again. It's, ugh, clapping. Like, that wasn't the thing that got me. I was just like, I want to do that, but I want to do it here. I don't know why. I guess it's just because my parents, or, I don't know. Some of it could be a personality thing. Like, I don't know, man. Socially, I probably didn't want to play in front of people. I'd get weirded out.
Shy.
Yeah, very, yeah. It's just the whole thing seems so... I guess it's always seemed weird to me. I don't know, man.
I get you.
So for me, I love music just like you do, just like anybody else does, but it's always been filtered through the idea that it should be done here, and for me personally, nowhere else.
Now, by the way, who were some of the guys you saw? You mentioned, like, you know, hanging out at the studio, your dad.
Well, at that time in Nashville, my dad was doing a lot of contemporary Christian records. So the dudes that were the guys at that time, they would be like a guy named Scott Williamson, who is 10 years older than me. So when I was like 13, he was like this young 33-year-old badass, like so good, such a great drummer, equally amazing singer, crazy talented guy, and he still works all the time. So I would learn a lot from him. You know, looking back now, I think how nice these people were. Like Scott would. Now I realize like this weird ruse that I didn't get at the time, but now I'm looking back. Like my dad had me play a demo session. Oh, Scott just happens to be here. No, he doesn't. He's here because he's going to help me get good drum sounds. Like, you know, he probably wouldn't get paid anything. He's really nice people in that.
I like how you use the word ruse.
It was. My dad
that.
had like hatched a caper, you know, and you know, yeah. So Scott Williamson was a guy. John Hammond is this great drummer in Nashville, man. He just played on so many records. Those would be the two, and then Paul Lime. Those are like the three guys. Yeah. And my dad, if he listens to this, he'll be laughing because he'll be thinking that I'm trying to portray this image of a kid who's like all eager and shows up to a studio and it's all real nice. The reality is I would show up and I would be way too cool for school. I wouldn't talk to anybody because I was nervous and I didn't know how to like communicate with these guys.
Did you come off as aloof?
Yes, very. But I always do. I'm not, maybe not right now, but
like,
I typically do.
Do people think he's arrogant because he just doesn't talk? Do you think is
maybe?
that it?
I mean, I was a little kid. They probably didn't think that, but they were probably sitting there wondering.
I wasn't sure if you were going there where you were saying like.
No. It's just that I didn't ever get social with any of those guys. Like a lot of like, now that I'm older, I'll meet these young guys and they talk a lot and they like ask questions. I think, oh, that's a normal type of behavior. I didn't do that when I was a kid. I just sit in the corner and I just watch. Now I was very respectful and I was admiring everything that's happening and I was paying attention to everything. I was learning as much as I could, but I didn't have the ability to figure out how to talk to these guys because I think I wanted to be their age and I hated the fact that I was 13 and they were, in their 40s, and I was like, I want to be in my 40s.
Yeah.
I want to have children and worry about my pension. I didn't want to be a kid, and so I think I was embarrassed about being a kid. But I knew this this is my time to learn. So I learned a whole lot just by literally a handful of sessions I would go to because he would invite me to sessions all the time and I wouldn't go.
What were the major things that you look at and say that's what really stood out? The things you noticed that you really took in and thought that's important.
I'll tell you, I remember one specific thing that I'll never forget, and it shaped totally the way I look at studio drumming. It's one thing, but it represents so much. Is that guy Scott Williamson? I went to this session my dad was doing. He was doing an orchestra session. It's in Nashville. Like they'll do these sessions where literally it's like a 50-piece orchestra, drums, percussion. They're all just cutting it live, like you're like in the 50s or something.
It's like the Wrecking Crew. Yeah.
Yeah, and they still do that to this day. And I'm sitting next to Scott, and I'm watching him play, and I'm sitting in the room with him. I got my headphones on, and he's got this piccolo snare. And at that time, I was just getting mature enough to think, I hate piccolo snares. So he's got this piccolo snare, and it's detuned, really flabby. And he's hitting it, and in the room, it is, at that time, it's the worst snare drum I've ever heard in my life. Mm-hmm. And I'm literally judging this guy, even though I know he's an amazing drummer. I'm getting all cocky in my head. I'm like, that is horrific. I don't understand how you could be sitting here playing this drum. This is unbelievable. And, so it's like this stupid kid just like judging this professional. So then, they finish the take and he's like killing it. Like plays the chart once and I'm like impressed. But I can't stop thinking about how terrible his drum is. And so then we go into the control room and I'm sitting there. This is my first experience to go just listen in the drum room and then go to the control room. And I'm sitting there, and they're playing it back, and I'm literally like, okay, cool. I don't understand what this song is, because it's clearly not the song that was just played, because that's the greatest, literally like the greatest snare drum sound I'd ever heard in my life. I'm like, all right, cool. So when are we going to hear the song that we just played? Obviously, this is not it. And I'm freaking out. And I was like looking around the room, like, I don't understand what's happening. I don't get this at all. And so then I started asking the engineer questions, just a couple questions. Again, too cool for school. Can't let on that I'm interested. But I sort of figured out, there's this thing called compression and EQ, and a microphone is not the same as an ear, like it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy has figured out how to create a sound that might not be great in a room, and have it translate through the speakers. And that's what everything just gets filtered through that concept for me now.
Flappy is happy?
Well, or just, not even that. Just, it doesn't matter what it sounds like in the room.
Right.
I don't care what it sounds like in the room.
From your seat, it's
all
irrelevant.
that matters is what goes through the speakers.
That's right.
Yeah. And that's why I don't even I really do like to have the most isolated headphones possible, because I don't want to hear what the room sounds like. Because the guy might be squashing the rooms to the point where it's a whole different sounding room, or maybe he's not, but maybe the distance of the mic, or maybe it's a ribbon mic, or maybe it's not. Whatever. It doesn't matter. All that matters is what's coming through the speakers, because that's what people are going to hear. And when I figured that out, that changed everything for me. And then I got excited. I was like, oh my gosh. Think of the household items you could use that you might discover has a certain sound when it goes through speakers, and then you can start perfecting those sounds and create your own thing. I mean, it literally opened up the entire world to me that one day. Yeah. I mean, that's when I started using, I just got into everything. I was like, I can use anything. I'll take this blanket and then I'll do something with it and then I'll burn it, and then somehow that'll make a sound. And it might not be that cool in this room, but if you put a microphone on it, a special kind of microphone, and you put it through this, compressor or whatever, it's incredible. Yeah. So that was a turning point for me.
So that was the biggest lesson.
I actually really think so. Yeah, I go back to that story in my head all the time, because it all comes back to, especially for drummers, because you're dealing with just innumerable amounts of mics and then preamps and then outboard gear and all this stuff. I mean, that sound is getting so altered. Even if you're working with guys that don't believe in compression EQ, it still doesn't sound like it does in the room. It just is. They're microphones. You're not sitting. It's just a whole other thing. It's just changing. So you have to know that, and you have to understand how all that stuff works. Or I don't think you can succeed in the studio world at all if you don't totally get that concept in and out.
Did you notice a lot of these guys nailing it in 1-2 takes?
Well, in Nashville, that's the mentality, for sure. So that's sort of how I was raised, It's just out there, that's the whole point. You were supposed to nail it. Now, when you go to L.A., it's almost like you're not supposed to nail it. If you nail it, what does that mean? Is my song too average for you? That people don't want you to nail it in one take, unless you're doing like a film session. But the creativity is so much more important in L.A., I mean, without getting into this whole thing, I'm not saying it should be that way, but it's just a different mentality out there. It's like much looser and stuff. But in Nashville,
we're finding.
Yeah, we are searching. We're on a journey.
Yeah.
But in Nashville, that's the idea.
It's time is money. Right. Time is money. That's that whole
but you know what?
thing.
I think it's better to grow up like that and then start discovering what it is to be able to take your time and think
better to
more.
be able to nail it in 1 and 2.
Yeah, because there's some amazing players in LA that probably wouldn't be able to do a country session in Nashville, even if they have the sound that is necessary, but they wouldn't be able to work at that pace.
Well, also, I mean, assuming you learned the chart system in Nashville at an early age, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Right? Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. It's in there.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I read charts. Yeah, and when I go to Nashville, typically it's just easier, and I don't even do charts. I never make charts.
You never make charts.
Never. No. That's the one one thing I'm good at. I can listen to a song once, and I know what it is now. But in Nashville, you still got to look at the chart. Because,
are you counting when you're listening
no,
that first time?
I have a whole system. I have like this, like a color-coded system in my head with numbers. If I have to do it, so.
Color-coded in your head. You have synesthesia or something?
No, man. I have a thing. Basically, it's all based on expectations. So somebody's gonna play a song for us right now, and they start playing. And my whole thing is, the moment that I hear something that I didn't expect, I mark that in my head. And so, sometimes I do like letters and numbers or like colors. Like green would represent a pre-chorus. So then I would think to myself, green, and then I have 1 through 3. Now 1 means. That wasn't that surprising. I kind of didn't see that coming, but I get why he would go to that. Why would he go to the sus chord and hang out for 1 extra bar? Okay, I didn't see it coming, but okay, that would be a 1. A 2 would be like, oh, that's interesting. Okay, so it's like a stop. Oh, okay, I get it. So we're stopping on beat 3 over. A 3 would be like, what the hell was that? That was crazy. Like, I totally did not think you were going to do that at all. And so there's levels of expectations. And so yeah, if you did something that's kind of like, oh, I didn't see that coming in the pre-chorus, that's a green 2. It's just, the only thing I tell myself is the words green 2, because up until this point, I have not heard anything that surprised me, right? So you start out with a 4-bar intro or whatever, even if it's a great song. I'm not actually making fun of any song. Just anytime you listen to a song, you're like, okay, I'm in this song, and you wait until you're surprised. I just wait until I'm surprised. So if I say to myself, green 2, red 3, that's all I need to remember. So then when it's time to go into play, I just think to myself, green 2, red 3. That means in the pre-chorus, something kind of surprising, not a huge deal. And then it'll come back to me. And then red 3 is like, dude, you better look out. And that last chorus, hello, we're doing that thing with the triplet. Oh my God, you remember that? That was crazy. And then I don't think of anything else. Because if it made sense to me at the time when I listened to it, it'll make sense to me 5 minutes later when I play it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So there's no reason to make... I mean, if you're like a notes player, sure, yeah, you got a lot of things to think about. But for me, it's like I got nothing to think about, and except for the things that took me off guard.
Now, does this stuff go into your daily life? In other words, you're in the car, you're in the store, and a song's on, and you're
no.
Do you listen to that red 3?
No.
I mean, do you do that?
No, I don't know why. No, I don't.
You
do
turn
it.
it off.
Yes. I don't think I purposefully, but yeah.
No, you never think like that.
No, never.
Okay.
That's actually an interesting question. I've never thought of it like that. I don't think I want to. That's the whole point. I don't want to think about these things. But it's like, I guess it's my job. I got to do a good job. That's the whole reason I want to make a chart. I don't want to sit here and like just, I don't know.
So, but don't you get into sessions and someone says to you, all right, Aaron, so we're going to play it, and here, feel free to make a chart wherever you like, and you're like, no, thanks.
But I'm always just honest to say, no, I'm totally cool. Trust me. I'm fine. I don't need a chart. I'm good. Yes, sometimes people be like, you really don't need a chart? You sure? You know, I've regretted
after
it.
you've sat down and play a little, they're like, Aaron?
Yeah, you're right. Right, exactly. Are you hearing enough click? You sure you got that click? Clicks on.
Do you want to click louder?
You got seven? Is 7 muted? Can't tell. Let me check out your box real quick. Yeah, exactly. No, hopefully they
How
don't.
the cans, Aaron? They
Yeah. You got them on. You got them on, right? Yeah. Hello?
Hello.
Oh no, it's totally cool. Come on in. It's those 2 bags right there.
Yes.
Oh, never mind. Sorry?
We just checked the housekeeping.
Oh, housekeeping. I'm good to go. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Cool. I don't know what that was about. That was scary.
They just break in. You know?
It's actually funny how that works in hotels. I can tell you how hotels I've been in. Now, first of all, I don't have the do not disturb.
But with the do not disturb, and they still call. How about that? I love the call.
What? You're disturbing me.
Right.
I'm not trying to be like a. I didn't have it on, by the way. I think that's totally cool. He did that. But like, yeah, you don't just knock and then walk in. Like, I'm working so hard to let you know that I don't want to be disturbed. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's a really douchey thing I just said.
I don't think so.
No, it's a little weird. It just doesn't make sense. What were you talking about? Yeah, so that's my chart concept. Yeah.
Right.
You know what the other thing is, by the way? I've never understood how many drummers are interested. Like, you got to work hard to not do charts, because who wants to look to their left the whole time? My neck would be killing me by this time in my life. Like, you're moving all over this drum set. You got your arm here, doing all this. I don't want to put my neck looking at that thing. It's terrible. I hate it. Like, if you do a film session and you have no choice, like, all right, cool, I'll get down with it. But I don't understand why guys would do that. It sucks, man. Like, if your bass player like just staring at one spot the whole time, sure, I get it. But yeah, that's another big reason I won't do it. I mean, I want to be able to like feel free to look at things that I want to look at, and yeah, that's a drag to like have a music stand in one place. It's weird.
Yeah, good memory too. Helps.
Yeah, I you know what? I'm lucky. I got a good memory. There's other things I don't have, but yeah, I got that. Yeah.
Now I want to jump around just a little bit because I noticed on your credits Eddie Van Halen, and what?
That's the classic story right there. That's great because like it really is like my best weird gig story. Like when people say, "Oh, what's your weirdest gig?" That's all I got because I don't have a lot of gigs. I got one other story that's maybe funny, but that's it. Yeah, Eddie and like a wedding gig I did once that was pretty interesting. I work a lot with this producer named Patrick Leonard, who
Patrick Leonard. Now he did stuff with Madonna, if I'm not mistaken.
He is Madonna. I mean, at least the early stuff. He like discovered her. He did all the huge hits. He's an insane piano player. I'm talking like Keith Jarrett. Like, he's insanity. And he's a really great producer. He's done a lot of records. Like, the guy's worked with everybody. He's like one of those classic 80s, 90s, like, icon kind of producers. And now, I made a lot of records with him, like, just a lot of pop records, and Tasha Bedingfield, and different, like, people like that. And he called me. I don't think he'll listen to drum podcasts, so he'll never know that this is how it went down.
I'll find him and I'll send it to him.
You should. He'd actually appreciate this. I don't think I ever told him this. But he called me, and he was like, I got this gig. Now, I'm in Nashville at the time. I was doing some country record at the time. I didn't tell him I was in Nashville because I didn't want him to like back off and say, oh, don't worry about it. I was like, I want to hear what this is. So he's like, man, Eddie Van Halen, good friend of mine, you know. Of course, he's good friends with everybody. He's like, he's doing this benefit for a flower shop in Hollywood, as people do. So I'm like, all right, I don't know what that means. He goes, he just wants to do like a trio thing, like me and him and a drummer, and I thought you'd be the guy. Yeah, it doesn't pay anything, I don't think. It's just like a benefit. I don't know what this means for a flower shop. So all I hear is Eddie Van Halen. I'm like, and I'm thinking somehow.
What year is this, by the way?
This would be like. Probably 2003. If I had to take a guess, I could be super off, and I probably am. Maybe 2005, 2006. That's another thing. Okay, memory, by the way, musical memory, no joke. I have the worst year memory, and I wish I didn't. It actually is a hindrance in life. I wish I knew dates, but I don't know. I was 25 or 26, maybe, I think. So he says Eddie Van Halen, and he says the date, and I know that I can technically do it because I was doing 2 records, and I had one day off. And I was going to do another record. So I'm like, I can technically do this. So I flew out there. I got a flight. It cost me a crap load of money, which money I didn't really have at the time. So I go out there, And long story short, I show up to this flower shop. Now, this is a type of business that's called floral couture. Now, I think this woman came up with it. Now, this is a friend of Eddie Van Halen's. She might be a porn star, maybe. I don't know why I'm saying that.
Well, I know he had a porn shot at his home, so he's...
Yeah, so this is a porn star. This is a porn star friend of his.
Yeah.
Now, the reason it's a benefit is because the business is a terrible business, and it doesn't do well because nobody wants to spend $500 on a vase of flowers.
Right.
So you have this business that's not doing well. By the
It's
way,
amazing what blowjobs will do, right?
Absolutely.
You'll start doing benefit shows. For,
oh my god!
I mean,
so it's actually a beautiful store. It's beautiful, and it's on La Cienega Boulevard. But of course, it's not going to make any money. Like, nobody is interested in these types of products. So he's literally just trying to make money. I think he's trying to get her out of whatever bankruptcy. I don't know. It was just a funny thing. But it was a red carpet event. There's some stars there and stuff. So the gig is just literally, we didn't rehearse at all. I met him, couldn't have been nicer. I mean, really, he was the nicest guy. So
Tipsy?
sweet. I mean, I can say this only because I know that I've heard he's gone through rehab and he's
you can
doing
smell
really
it. You
well.
can smell it. Come on.
This was, let me just put it this way. This was, I think, right before he went into rehab. It was a whole vibe, man. It was unbelievable. But he could not have been nicer.
Sniffling
to me.
and...
There's so much more, but I feel uncomfortable. Dude, you have no idea. It was crazy. But he is a rock star. I'm certainly not the only person to talk about Eddie Van Halen's ex-wife. It'd be great if nobody had ever done it. I'm the first guy, this guy.
What?
Yeah. What did you just say?
Eddie Van Halen does coke?
Right, exactly.
Right.
So he's out of his mind, but he was so nice to me. And there's no rehearsal, and there are no songs. We're in front of this is a red carpet event like Hollywood. This is not some music crowd. I remember seeing Tracy Morgan out there. I'm like, why is Tracy Morgan? What are we doing? I'm freaking out. And we played for, I think, 2 hours. Improv, high school garage style. When you're with your friends and you've just discovered maybe some prog rock record.
Right.
You've I've figured out what Gentle Giant. You guys know Gentle Giant? Yeah, I've been checking out Gentle Giant. Okay, let's just masturbate musically for 2 hours. And it's a great feeling when you're a kid. It's not a cool feeling when you're an adult and you're playing with one of the most famous people in the entire world, and it's just terrible. I mean,
and it's a live gig, not your.
It's a live gig, and you also have these people looking at you like.
We all know you love that. I'm saying.
Yeah.
Going back to that,
right? Dude, if you had any idea how just self-conscious I was the whole time, and it was just 2 hours of just insane shredding, and I think there were probably some cool moments. I really do. I think there were probably a couple moments. That
were there cover? Did he pull out Cream or something,
no.
or it was just all
no.
he just riffing?
I'm not joking.
Riffs.
It just never. It was an onslaught of just but that kind of because Pat was playing left-hand bass and keys.
Patting almost.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's some Rhodes kind of stuff going on, but there's no bass player. What are we doing? This is crazy. But it was a lot of fun. But it was crazy, and I think there might be some videos on YouTube. I don't know if they took them down. It's this is simply not good enough for our channel.
Search Eddie Van Halen cocaine flower shop.
Yeah, something like that. You'll get it.
You'll find it. Yeah.
It was crazy though, man. It was, and I had to do a drum solo, and I'll never forget.
You do drum solo?
Yeah, and I don't do drum solo. That's not.
Yeah, you don't
my
strike
thing.
me as the drum solo guy.
So I'm trying to do this drum solo, and I'm thinking to myself I gotta make the best of this. I was trying to let it grow a little bit, right? And I remember he looks at me sort of my brother wouldn't do it like this. And he literally looks at me, actually, in a very kind, energetic, positive, encouraging way. Not like a dick. He was really, genuinely mean. He was so nice that day. But he goes, just come on, man. Just come on. Sort of just give them what they want. Just go.
Yeah.
And as soon as I did that, he had this big smile on my face. And what killed me is that everybody in the audience was happy. It's this is all you people want?
That's all they want.
Just It was hilarious, man. It was a crazy gig. It was a crazy. I'll never forget though. I will say this. I'm standing outside. I've been there for about an hour. I set up. I'm trying to get there early, and he hasn't showed up. I'm standing outside on the street, and this Lamborghini Hummer shows up. Meaning, it is a combined effort between the companies Lamborghini and Hummer. They came together and have this car, I guess, and it's him, and it's yellow, and he just comes out. He don't have a guitar tech. He just gets out, and he's loading all his gear out of this Lamborghini Hummer, and he's like, hey, man, can you give me a hand? I'm like, I guess, Eddie Van Halen, I will totally give you a hand.
See, if you're going to drive around town fucked up, best to do it in a Hummer.
And I love the fact that he doesn't have a guitar tech. He's doing it himself, but all his amps have his name on it because he's one of the most famous guitar players ever. So it's all his EVH gear, yet he's doing it himself. Meanwhile, I got my drum tech who set all my crap up, and I'm not
got a
getting
tech,
paid.
Eddie doesn't have a
Yeah, I'm
tech.
already
I
out
love it.
$200. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm such an idiot. Like, this guy actually probably did good stuff with his money. It was a life lesson. Yeah, that was a crazy gig. That's all I've ever done. I never did anything else with him. We were supposed to make a record, I think. That night, you know, it was like Pat was like, I think we're gonna make a record. I don't think that record ever happened, but yeah, that was a cool gig though. Yeah.
Now you were in Nashville. That's where you started, and you're doing your thing. Work's coming about because you're hanging around the studio.
Yeah, not a ton.
I mean, to take it.
Yeah. I mean, in high school, I was definitely doing some sessions. Not a lot. Some stuff for my dad. Other things here and there. Yeah.
A lot of Christian stuff. You were saying.
Yeah, because that was just the world he was in, and that's kind of the world that I knew at that time. But you know, I was also trying other things. But yeah.
Sure. Why LA? What made that happen?
It's very simple. I remember having this conversation with my dad. I said, every record I buy that I wish I was the guy on. Virtually. I mean, with the exception of, like, me, you know, jazz records. I'm just talking about modern sort of records. They're all done in L.A. And, of course, he's a smart guy, too. He's like, well, they didn't want to lose their kid to L.A., but it's like, yeah, I guess you have to go there. Like, why would I stay here? There's nothing wrong with Nashville, but I don't want to do any of these records. Like, if we're just thinking big, you know, that's where they're done. So it was that simple, combined with the fact that personally, my wife now, girlfriend at the time, she was living there, and then it's a very complicated situation. She was already there.
Okay.
We were having this long distance relationship. She was also living in Nashville, but it certainly there was this other huge thing of like I'm really in love with this girl. It makes sense. The whole
that's part of the story.
Oh, hugely. And now, funny enough, looking back, I kind of actually think that might have been more of it, you know, because you know you're asking me from a career perspective, drum wise, so I always go to that default of like music. These are the records.
We're doing life.
Yeah. I didn't mean to. Yeah,
totally.
But I mean, really, like I was, and this is a year into our relationship, so smitten with her, and I mean, again, it's a very complicated story, but you know, she was out there at the time, and it just made a lot of sense. And I'd visited a few times. I went there in the summer and stayed with her. And then I was really into the city.
But see, that helps too. You didn't have to go out and sort of ground zero it and find a place and crash on couches.
Oh, you have no idea.
She had the place.
She literally had a place. It was like a Melrose place kind of thing. Like her parents were managing the building. I mean, it was just this whole thing. So it was a very cool situation. I was very lucky. They had an apartment for me. And then there's this whole. I mean, I didn't know anybody out there musically, but in terms of like an emotional support, you know,
you didn't know anyone.
No, not really. I mean, I maybe one or two people I'd sort of met, but I didn't know anybody, you know.
Okay. So you had no connections to fall back on when you got.
Not really. I mean, my dad asked some people in Nashville like for numbers to help me out, but it was like J.R. Robinson, you know, like you know, I call him, he talks to me for an hour. He could not be a nicer person. But like, what is he gonna do for me? I'm literally 19 or 20, like. He's very nice to me. Like, great. Well, there's nothing else can happen through this, you know what I mean? Like, and so, unfortunately, the people that I knew were a little too big to have a rapport with, and so I had to find my people, and I didn't really have the quote-unquote my people at the time, so I had to go find them.
And? How does one do that?
That's a great question, man. I guess that is like, everybody's path is
never
different.
mind the formula.
Sure.
How did Aaron Sterling do it? What?
Man, I don't know. It's hard to figure out.
Because you weren't playing live.
Well, I was trying to do the live jazz gig thing where you show up to these jazz gigs. You know, at that
Baked
time.
Potato?
Yeah, I did some baked potato stuff. Like you sit in. Again, I was so socially awkward. You have no clue. Like the idea of walking up to somebody's like, "Hey, nice to meet you. I really like you on that one record. Love to sit in." That was not happening. Again, my wife, she would show up to some of these things and like push me. You know, if it wasn't for her,
she's like, go over there.
Yes.
And talk to him.
Oh my God.
Pushing Aaron.
And I hated her.
Do it.
I hated her so much. Oh my God. And now looking back, I'm like, I literally have no idea if I'd have a career if it wasn't for her. And I know that's like sounds all like schmaltzy. It's very true. And so she would help me a lot and like push me to do those things.
Did this freak you out? I'm gonna jump to there right now. Did this, when I pitched you, like wrote to you, like, hey, you want to do an interview? Does that?
Why do you think I didn't write you back the first time? Hello.
Be honest, I love it.
That's why.
Because you were like,
scary.
wait, I don't talk about myself, and right.
You know what pushed me over the edge? If you're into two things. First of all, I listened to some of the podcasts. It's like, oh, this guy's cool. I like this guy. And I noticed that the people that I know that did it, they all sound like themselves. So it's like, well, then it's nobody's getting twisted.
Right.
And then I thought, you know what I hate? It's the written interviews. You know, although I did a written interview, this guy Kelly King, really great guy. He writes for Drumhead magazine.
I prefer his brother Kerry King.
Yes, I love it. Very good reference. So that actually turned out really well. He did a great.
No, I'm kidding. I know. I know. Yeah.
That turned out well, but for the most part, that's scary, man. Things can change. Words can get shifted, and tone. It's all about tone.
That's
all about tone,
a huge
man.
thing. No. Really.
I mean, I say some stuff that in the written word would sound like I'm the worst person ever. But if you hear me say it, you'd probably be cool with it.
I agree 100%. That's
sarcasm.
a big reason I wanted to do this.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
no, I
because
listened to a couple.
You read something and you're like, is he joking? Is there sarcasm?
Yeah, you
Is
remember
there...
growing up reading all those articles, and you're like, is this guy a cool guy, or is this like the biggest dick in the world?
You can't tell if he's an arrogant fuck, or and then you don't know. Hear them, and you hear the tone.
Yes,
you hear the attack or whatever.
Right. Well, and you even learn more of, it's actually interesting. I think it's good for drummers or any young musician to listen to somebody speak, because you also learn about just like the mannerisms of these people that do this job. A lot of guys they all talk the same. All my friends that do studio work, they're like just like me. And it's this weird thing of, I don't know if chicken or the egg, where we all like that and we all found each other, or do you become that type of person that acts a certain way you do and talks a certain way you do? It's like, I don't know, it's like a whole subculture. And if you don't listen to those people speak, it's almost like you don't understand the world. Like, that's half of it.
Yeah. That's exactly...
You know what I mean? Well, clearly you do.
Well, no, because I think that's, as we said before, that's one of... I mean, you got to have the chops. You got to be able to deliver.
That. Yeah.
But, as you're saying...
You got to be able to hang out. And it's a certain type of hang. I know plenty of very nice people who are intelligent and funny, but it's like the wrong kind of funny. It's almost like, man, this sucks. I feel bad for you. I really like you, but there's no way you'll succeed because you're just not like us enough.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds terrible, but it's just the fact of how it works. Like, most guys in this world, especially like the studio world, they're very similar. And the people that don't do well, it's not always because they're not good. It's just because like they have this weird disconnect. They don't hang with everybody, and it just, I don't know. You get eaten up. Somehow.
Yeah. You've seen that a lot.
Oh my gosh, all the time.
You see them come in and
you see these guys you see like once a year as opposed to 20 times a year, and you think, man, that guy's really good. Why don't I think of him more when people ask? And I'm like, oh, that's why. Because there's just something about him that doesn't gel, and
Have you ever seen the opposite? I mean, I know that's a rare bird, it's a unicorn, but have you ever seen someone, not naming names, obviously, where you're like, he, she, they're really not that good, but they're so fucking cool. Like, I get it.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. I would actually say some of my favorite people to play with, that's I'm taking it too far. There are a few people that I play with that I love playing with them, even though they're not necessarily the greatest. Maybe I wouldn't say they're not bad, but that there's other people that are better than them.
There's a limit to what they can do.
Oh, hugely.
Right.
But you're like, but this guy is so awesome.
I just want to hang with them. Yeah, exactly.
For sure. There's tons of those people. I mean, there's a couple people that are like not good that I'm still like, it's all right, but you wouldn't want to be with them more than 6 hours. Just if you know what I mean. If they're not good, I mean, you still got to make music. We have a job to do here.
Sure.
You're really blowing it here.
Right.
But yeah, there's a few people, but I think personally, I think that's great. I don't think this whole industry should just be made up of like the greatest musicians. We should have a lot of great musicians, and then I think it's cool to have people that their talents lie elsewhere, where maybe they're really great business minded. I mean, there's people out there like in LA that I work with who maybe they're not the greatest player, but they'll help get everybody paid, right? Like they have a way of speaking to people, and you're like, dude, I know that guy's gonna make sure we get paid, even though I hate working with this producer or whatever. This guy never pays us, or this label sucks. But this guy's got your back, or this guy is good at diffusing awkwardness. Like, let's say the producer and the artist are having this weird thing, and you're like, oh, this is getting strange. Like, this guy's the best guy to have because he just knows how to get everybody drinking or whatever it is.
Totally.
Like, you need all the different types of people in the studio for sure for all those types of things. It's great, yeah.
So going back to it, you were saying you're doing the jazz thing.
Just trying to meet people.
There is internet at this point. It's not fully like the back of newspapers and shit. I mean, are you doing that? The Craigslist thing?
No, I never did that.
Okay.
No. Again, going back to like I was, just like I wanted to be in the right place at the right time. I never wanted to meet somebody under the wrong circumstances. I can't tell you how many times I saw like my heroes in clubs and I never went up to them because my theory was, I don't want them to perceive me as some young kid that might not be good if they don't hear me. So I wanted everybody to meet me having heard me. Again, this might sound arrogant, but I actually think it's a smart strategy. I can't tell you how many like young people I meet and I think, you might be great, you might not. I have no clue. I'm going to default to you not being great because that's the more likely situation. And I didn't want anybody meeting me thinking, some kid, maybe he's good. I wanted people to meet me in the right situation where they heard me and thought, oh, maybe I like this guy. And if they didn't like me, then at least I know they heard my playing, and that's that. They don't like my style. That's cool. Totally cool. So I try to put myself in positions like that, and I just do these whatever jazz gigs. I did like some wedding gigs and various things, but my whole pitch to everybody was, I'm a studio drummer, even though I had probably done nothing out there. But
you had done stuff in Nashville, so you had credits.
You know how it works. You take whatever biggest credit you have, which might not be anything, and you just try to exploit that as much as possible. But I wanted people to know from a sincere standpoint, not like I'm trying to sell myself. Like, I want to be a session guy, and I'm good at that, and I don't necessarily want to go out on the road. I don't want to do gigs, but if you ever need somebody for a session, please let me know. I'll be the cheapest guy possible or whatever. It's just stuff like that, man. I'll tell you one thing. I was doing this Korean church gig for 2 years. Now, these are some of the nicest people I've ever met in my life to this day. These are the kindest people in the world. I did this Korean church gig. The whole service is in Korean. Everything. I did this forever, by the way. Every Sunday.
Is this
forever.
Gospel choppy? Or
no, not gospel choppy at all.
Korean chops? I mean, what is this?
It's like a 80s LA smooth. The sound is sort of the David Foster sound.
Okay.
Right.
Nice.
But whatever, I can do a lot of different things. I'm like, sure, I can do this. So I did that for a really long time. Very kind people. Again, everything's in Korean, so I don't even get to know these people very well, but I see them every Sunday for years. And then one day, this guy comes up to me and says, hey, this is after one of the church services. It's in Torrance. I had to drive an hour every time I did this. This guy comes up to me and says, I got this recording session. I'm a producer. I'm like, all right. I don't know who you are. I do, I usually work in Korea, but I come out here sometimes. And I'm 21 at the time, probably. I have this session and my normal drummer can't make it. Would you like to do it? I'm like, absolutely. I'd love to. I have no idea what to expect. So I show up to the session, and I find out his normal drummer is Vinny Colaiuta. I'm like, oh, I see. I'm like, right, this is the 80s, 90s. And I find out this guy's a huge Korean producer. Big deal out there. So it's Abe Laborel on bass, Luis Conti on guitar, or Luis Conti on percussion, Landau on guitar, Greg Matheson. So all these 90s heroes, right? The heroes of and so I'm freaking out, But I would tell this story because that's some of the weird, strange ways I got into certain circles. That's how I met some of those guys. And then Abe Laborel, nice guy, man. He got me in some other sessions. I did some other gigs with him, and I see Luis still. We have the same drum tech, and these people, you never know what's going to happen. And I was just literally expecting some strange session where it was all Korean. I didn't know who these people were, and of course it's the greatest of the great of that era. So yeah, some of my paths just came out of strange.
So there you go. I mean,
things.
That's perfect right there. It's because you took this Korean church gig.
Yeah.
And it was 2 years.
I could be
before
wrong.
that happened. I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
But see how fucking brilliant that is.
It's cool, man.
It's you could have given up after a year.
Absolutely.
Of doing that, and then that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah. And that's how. I guess probably everybody's got a story like that. That's just how it happens. There is no way.
There's no one way. No.
Yeah, you just gotta. Yeah, I was literally about to say, you just gotta work hard. Ugh, it sounds so stupid. But you do. You just gotta do. You kind of have to take everything until you think your worth might be a little bit higher, and then you start not taking everything. That's how I looked at it. I was like, I'm not at a point where I can be the guy who says no to anything. For a while. And then I got to the point where I'm I could start saying no to this and this and this, but I can't start saying no to that. Don't get cocky, Aaron.
Right.
Say yes, but it's this weird balance of saying yes to everything until you say no to a lot of things, And then you got to also know when you've been saying no too long. You're I don't want to be the guy who says no to everything for that long, and then nobody calls you. It's this crazy balance that I have in my head all the time, and I'm sure I'm not doing it right sometimes, but I think all the successful musicians will probably say that, it's this constant balance of saying yes and no, and when do you say yes, when do you say no, and but when you're young, man, you just gotta take everything. It doesn't matter how good you are, how bad you are, just take everything.
Are you saying no to producers?
Yeah, I'm so obsessed with doing sessions. I don't I'll say no if the money's not good enough.
I mean, in other words, a producer friend of yours, you worked with him before,
Right.
he calls you up, hey Aaron, I got this kind of blah, blah, blah. This is the bread we're offering. And
Right.
you're like, nah.
I will say no sometimes, but for the most part, and my wife will tell you, I say yes to just about every session. Because I'm obsessed with sessions. I mean, the gig thing is like, I don't know, it's tough to do that. But yeah, man, I worked yesterday. I had a day off.
It was in Jersey? you
Yeah,
said?
I had a day off, and this guy contacts me, who now I can say I've met him, and he's a very nice guy. A guy named George Roscos. He has this studio out in Jersey. I don't know the guy. I don't know who the artist is. I don't know anything. I'm just like, you can pay me this much, and I'll come down.
And he met
met
your day rate.
And of course, I show up, and these are the nicest people in the world. It was a really fun day. Like, whatever. I got money. I met a lot of nice people, and I got to do what I love. I love recording. So whatever. What else am I gonna do? Sit in my hotel room? You know?
You have a set day rate?
No. Yeah,
sliding.
I mean, yeah, it's sliding. I mean, it kind of has to be. I mean, sometimes. I mean, yeah, I have a number that I always hope for, but sometimes it's like, come on, don't be that guy asking for that number. Like, you know what I mean? If you find out the artist is a school teacher and they're self-funding it, you're really going to be the guy that says that. Just say you're not interested. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a sliding scale.
But do you ever do the thing where it's like, if you're like, the music really doesn't excite me at all, so I'm going to throw out this number that's a little, you know what I mean?
I've never been that guy. I never want to say a number that's so high that you get a reputation.
No, I meant because you're like thinking, oh, well, I don't really need it or give a shit. So it's a lark. It's like, well, if you can meet this, and then they actually do, and you're like,
absolutely.
Fuck,
Absolutely.
I guess now I got to do it.
I just make sure that the high number is not ever too high, because I never want anybody saying, Aaron Sterling asked for this. I don't want anybody hearing that I asked for some number that's clearly like code for, I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? Like, I never want to take advantage of people. I really don't. Like, it's not, it's just not cool. But yeah, I have a number that I hope for sure. And it's sliding scale based on what their budget is, based on how much I like or don't like the music. And it has to do with like, how many takes are we going to do of these songs? How many songs? Like, does the engineer suck? I'm telling you, man, if I do a session, I know who the engineer is, and I think they're not good. That has a lot to do with it, because I know that's a long.
So these are the questions you'll ask. You'll say, who's on the session?
I'll try
who's engineering?
Yeah,
and if they happen to say that name, that you're like, oh, that guy.
A bad engineer for me is 10 times worse than 7 bad songs. Every single time. I could play bad songs all day if the sounds are good and people are cool. As long as like what I'm hearing, like sonically is good, I'm cool with some bad songs. That's fine.
Do you know a lot of bad engineers?
I actually don't. I've worked with a lot of bad engineers, but like there's only.
The guy that keeps popping up. Do you see that?
There's a couple guys.
How do they? What's your theory on that?
Because it's a definition of bad. Without really getting into it, without getting into it too much, there are different schools of thought in engineering and producing. There's people that come from the 80s mindset of a certain aesthetic. There's people that come from a lot of different worlds. And all I'll say is this. There are some guys that think the right thing to do is absolutely nothing. There's no compression, no EQ, nothing. And that all is on the mixer later. Now, I get that philosophy 100%. I truly do. But when the sounds are so incredibly uninspiring for the drummer, I feel that engineers need to take that into consideration. And okay, it's like, fine, if you don't want to if you believe that compressing even the slightest bit will ruin the sound, I don't necessarily agree, but you are the engineer. And I always respect that. I never have gotten weird with an engineer ever in my career, not once. But it's like, man, if the sounds suck and it's affecting my performance, help me out, man. Like, do something. So now my new thing is, if I work with an engineer who doesn't do any compression or EQ, and it just, for whatever reason, sounds so unbelievably flat, I'll usually have them put a bus compressor on it just for my ears, and it doesn't have to go to tape.
Sure.
But I think the people I have a hard time working with are the people that don't understand, like, that it's not always about just recording drums in their natural state.
Pristine.
Yeah. It's like, these are just sounds. Right. Like, what if I wanted to clap? Like, what does that mean to you? What is there a specific mic we need to use? It's just a sound. All I'm trying to do is give you sounds that sound like something. I don't give a shit. Whoa, so it's a snare, it's a deep snare, it's a high snare. Like, what is
you
it?
don't get caught up in that stuff,
no,
right?
No, I just want to achieve a sound.
Round badge? We're using
no,
you don't
I want
care
to achieve a sound. Like literally, like if the sound is me hitting a wall. Let's just figure out the best way to capture that.
Right.
Or the sound of me hitting a wall isn't quite what I want, but I think we could achieve it if you do X, Y, and Z as I hit the wall. So now put it through this thing, put it through this. Do you have a transient designer? Let's take attack all the way down, release all the way up, and that will create the sound we want. It's like the hip hop thing. Like, it's all these samples, these crazy samples that they use to create a sound. Like, they don't know if the snare they're using is compressed. They don't even, it's like, maybe it is, maybe it's not. I don't know, this is the sound of glass shattering, but that's on the snare drum. That, you mean layered on the snare drum.
Sure,
and so that creates the sound. And that's how I think.
Yeah.
I don't care, like, do whatever you gotta do, but like, I'm not saying you gotta use compression or EQ. All I'm saying is, I'm trying to achieve a sound, help me. And this is not the sound I'm trying to achieve. I am only referring to a handful of people that don't believe in that philosophy. Or like if you say, let's put some delay on just this one track, and they're terrified. I'm like, why? What's the big deal? What's going to happen if you put delay on it and print it? What's the big deal?
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to get fired. Like, you know, why can a guitar player put delay on and everybody looks at them like, that's cool, but a drummer can't? It's ridiculous. Sorry.
No. It's
right.
good.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's about achieving a sound, whatever that sound may be. So now I'm like,
It also sounds like it's about guys who go, well, this is the way I work.
Correct.
Right, and it's like, and they're very just, this is how I do it.
Yeah.
And I'm not flexible. I'm
Correct.
not Gumby over here. I'm not going to bend for
correct.
you.
Because they think there's only one way of doing
right.
it.
The right way.
Yeah, and I would, in their defense, in the 80s, let's say if we're talking about people that are sort of in their 50s or 60s, in the 80s, that kind of was the way to do it. There was really only one way. It's just that now that's not the way it works. There is no one way. We just have to figure out the sound we want and commit. I like commitment. I just like commitment more. And, you know, you can still get a great mixer to mix it. But the hip-hop method is to basically have it 90% mixed before it gets to the mixer. Because the production is the mix. The mix is the production. It's all happening at once.
Yeah.
And I like that. And I think you can apply that to almost any kind of music. There's no reason you can't do that. Why wouldn't you do that at the same time? So, yeah, I'm really into... Yeah, I'm just into working at the time and getting the sound. I don't want to, like, hope that the sound gets done later. Like, that's just weird. Like, even like, you know, when I do tambourine, I think, oh, let's put a lot of verb on it. Like, can we just put a lot of verb on it now? Like, why would we wait? If the mixer is going to use a plugin, a reverb plugin later, why can't you just use the same reverb plugin? I don't understand. Is there something I'm missing here?
Right.
Like, I don't get this.
Yeah.
And I hate that concept of, like, being afraid to print that stuff. Like, what do you think's going to happen? That the mixer's going to say, I wouldn't have made that reverb, you know, whatever, you know, 2.5 seconds. I would have made it 3 seconds. Like, oh,
spare me.
Yeah, spare me. Passion. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. The only other thing I'll say, yeah, it's also the same guys who, I had this happen the other day. The guy's playing the song or whatever, and it's a ballad type of song. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm literally thinking, oh, I got a cool part. Like, I was thinking just like these sleigh bells and a tom thing. I wasn't imagining using a snare drum. And I remember the engineer looks at me and goes, let's do a deep snare on this because it's a ballad. I'm like, first of all, I haven't played anything. You don't know what I'm going to play.
Right.
I'm not even going to play a snare drum. So we'll just throw that out. I'm not going to hit a snare drum. It's like the idea that a ballad equals a deep snare, that kills me, man. Again, I get it. If you come from a school where every record you did, a ballad equals a deep snare, I respect the fact that that's his lineage. Man, you just gotta, like, move on.
We're gonna use Yamaha recording custom toms.
Correct. Yeah, and I really mean that. I truly mean that in the most respectful way, because these guys are really good at what they do.
Sure.
And they're amazing.
They get that sound.
But it's frustrating. It's like, man, I gotta work in the modern world right now. I just got to, at least for today. Like, if we do a session that's your style, I'll just do it your way. But today, you gotta work with me, man. I'm not hitting the snare drum. And I'm like, you know what I mean? And then it's like, you're like, well, crap, if that's where he's at, and this is where I'm at, it's like a negotiation, like somebody wants, you know, $5 million for something, like, oh, I was thinking $50, like $50. Like, clearly it's not going to work out. You know what I mean? I was thinking buying this apartment building for $50.
Right.
So, yeah, then the whole day just becomes hard. My point is, with Bad Engineer, I don't get to achieve what I want at all.
Sure. There's
like
no give
over.
and take. It's just...
No, but it does not happen all the time.
No, but you were saying before, do you use those small drums? Will you just use those for anything, or are you the guy that's like, for this song I'm hearing a 24 or a 26,
constantly, yeah.
For this song it's an 18, for this one
I bring everything,
Yeah.
man. My dude brings everything.
Yeah.
And it might look overkill.
You switch it up, just
all constantly.
Yep.
Like it's just a constant switching of everything.
What's the most used kick drum? Would you
Most
say,
used kick drum
in a studio
that I have? I guess, I mean, because of just the nature of like music business, I mean, I do a lot of like sort of, I do plenty of normal sounding things. So I suppose the kick drum I've used the most is a 22-inch 60s Ludwig.
Mm-hmm.
I have a 60s Ludwig kit that I probably use more than anything. But, you know, it's all supplemented by, lots of 28s and 26s and 18s and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, that would be like, I guess that's the kit I've used the most. That or my WFL kit that I use a lot. Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. And I have a 28-inch kick that I use a ton. I've been using for like 10 years.
Yeah, calfskin and all.
No, I have this weird method. It's like a little secret method I have that involves duct tape, not in a normal way at all. It's like a weird duct tape method that I have. Like it's too complicated.
Secret method. All right, how much?
Yeah, exactly.
How much? All right.
It's literally too complicated to even explain. It was an accident. But my point is, it's just got like normal, like coated or a smooth white hat or something like that. It just has a specific sound to it.
Okay.
But I use that a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good. Yeah. What's a dream gig for you? Throw it out there. You know, put it in the ether now.
So I can't say the one I'm in?
It's floating. Well,
The one I'm in.
you can.
The one I'm in
You
is
can.
truly a dream gig.
You did dream about this gig?
I had absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, because I got a lot of his records. I was like, this is a great gig. This would be a great gig. But if I'm not going to say him,
Well, you got it. Apparently,
Yeah.
You're in it.
yeah,
You're living the dream.
I'm living the dream. I'm trying to think of some other dream gigs. Shit, I feel like because of my childhood, because I was so obsessed with him, and because I still look up to this guy, like he's amazing. I don't think I wouldn't get the gig, but like just to work with somebody like Pat Metheny. Pat Metheny's not even my favorite artist of all time. I'm not even obsessed with Pat Metheny, but when I think about him, I always think, what a consummate artist! Like just what a cool artist! Like you can't play with Pat Metheny and not be proud of it. I don't know. I mean, there's plenty of people you could say that about. I don't know why he just popped in my head. Something about that guy, man. He's a cool dude. I'd play with him. That'd be a cool thing to say.
Pat Metheny, I like that.
Yeah,
It's an interesting answer.
It actually is very interesting to me because I can't believe I just said it. I don't know. There's plenty of other people, but something about him, I don't know. Emotionally, I think I get very into the idea of like working with somebody like that. Maybe because he touched me so much. He touched me so much as a child.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
That's the little part we're gonna edit out.
I don't think
and
you have to.
That'll
Yeah,
sell
yeah,
the
yeah.
interview, you know?
He touched me so much
He
as a
touched
child.
me so much as a child.
Yeah. No, he did though, man. That stuff,
Absolutely.
that stuff was
That's
very
the
moving.
stuff that matters.
And you know what it is? There's a lot of stuff that I got into as
What
a
about
kid.
Les Claypool? What
Yeah.
if Les Claypool? No, seriously. I'm serious. What if he
I'm
called
being-
you up?
I was literally just going to say, there's a lot of people I listened to as a kid that I got into, and now as an adult, I think, and he would be one of them.
Gotcha.
I mean, I can't. Where's the
Gotcha.
melody? What's happening? What is happening in this music?
Right,
But I was really into it at the time. But Pat Metheny's one of those guys that, like, as a young person listening, I was so moved by it. You know, the only people I was moved by as a kid at that time, so many of them, they're all dead. I guess he's one of the few people that's like
Yeah.
still alive. I mean, you have other iconic artists who are still around, but something about him, I don't know. He's like still seems so young, and it'd be cool. I don't know. I can't think of any. I don't know why I can't. I can think of everybody. I guess there's so many dream gigs. There's tons of people. I don't know. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna leave it at that though. It's better just stay at Pat Metheny, the guy that touched me as a kid. I'm not gonna talk about anybody else. I'm gonna pretend that there's not a single other gig. Would you be in Radiohead? Nope.
We'll do
No
a part
thanks.
2 and discuss your Catholic school upbringing.
That's absolutely
and
right.
being touched by,
Yes, exactly. right. I'm just gonna pretend there's nobody else I'd ever play with. John and Pat. Those are my only two people. Yeah.
It's great, man. And no drum solos in your future.
John had me do a drum solo the other day.
He did.
Yeah,
Just
it went okay.
he threw it at you like drum solo.
Dude, he's the best about that stuff. I mean, I was cringing, but I love the fact that he just does that. Yeah, he just looked at me and goes, "All right, do something." I'm like, okay, yeah. Now, I will do it. You know what I thought about the other day? I was like, I can't be the guy that says he doesn't do drum solos. I just need to like work on it. I literally think I should like sit in a room and just work out concepts of like I'm just not used to doing it. But when I hear I heard a great jump solo last night. I'm like, why can't I be that guy? Maybe I should just work harder. So I'm gonna not be the guy that says no drum solos. I'm gonna go for it, but I gotta practice. I need at least 3 years of practice. So
3 years.
Yeah, wait 3 years, and then maybe you'll hear me.
We'll
do a drum
check
solo.
back in. And
Yeah, man. But a good drum solo is a
2016,
cool thing.
man.
2016. See you then.
Yeah, I love it. This is like a I like
exactly,
that.
Exactly.
Perfect, man.
Yeah.
Aaron, I'm gonna leave you alone because I know you just got
totally
some
cool,
shit to
man.
get done,
It's
and
totally cool.
you're gonna split town. I really appreciate you doing this, man. Taking the time.
Thank you very much. This was extremely painless. Yeah.
This time.
Yes, exactly. Only this time. Yeah.
See you in 3 years, my man.
Exactly. All
Thank
right.
you, buddy.
Thank you very much.
I did that. What? Do it.